Winning the Powerball sounds like freedom, but the truth hits fast. The moment you claim that ticket, your life stops moving the way you expect. Your identity can explode into the public. The rules lock into place instantly, and one wrong move can cost you the entire jackpot. Some winners learn this the hard way, losing their privacy, their fortune, even their sense of safety. So here's a real question. If your numbers match tonight, would you know what you're actually allowed to do? Subscribe now if you want the kind of insight most people never learn until it's too late. Number 10. You must protect the ticket like evidence in a crime case. Every Powerball winner faces this rule before anything else. The ticket is the only proof that you are the rightful winner, and losing means losing everything. There is no backup system, no digital record, no second copy. The paper slip is the entire fortune. That is why real winners take extreme measures the moment they realize what they have. One of the most famous examples is Marie Holmes, the North Carolina winner, who secured her $188 million ticket inside a Bible before she ever made a phone call. Another was a Missouri winner who drove to a friend's house and locked the ticket in a gun safe because he was terrified of misplacing it. And then there's the case of Edwin Castro's disputed $2.04 billion win, where another man claimed the ticket was stolen before it was ever submitted, a fight that became national news. These real situations make one thing clear. The rule exists because the lottery will not help you if the ticket goes missing, gets destroyed, or ends up in the wrong hands. Secure it and treat it like the most valuable document you will ever hold. Because for many winners, that small piece of paper becomes a difference between a life-changing victory and a disaster they never recover from. Number 9. You must choose your payout immediately, and there is no undo button. Once you bring the ticket to the lottery office, you face a choice that shapes the rest of your financial life. Take a single lump sum payout or lock yourself into a 30-year annuity. And the brutal part is that the decision is permanent. Many winners have talked about how shocking it felt to make a multi-million-dollar commitment before they even had time to breathe. When Shane Missler claimed his $451 million prize, he selected the lump sum because he believed he could manage the money better himself, a choice he had to make on the spot, with no ability to reverse it later. Other winners chose annuity payments, expecting stability, only to admit years later that inflation and slow state-managed investments made those payments feel much smaller over time. This rule is strict because the system cannot change individual terms for each winner. The moment you sign your payout papers, your future income is locked into a structure you cannot renegotiate, even if your financial circumstances change or you regret the choice. And most winners describe this moment as the first time they realize the Powerball is not just a dream. It is a contract, and the contract is legally binding. Number 8. You must pay taxes on the winnings before you touch even $1. The next rule is unavoidable. A massive portion of your prize belongs to the government before you ever see the money. Federal taxes, state taxes, and sometimes local taxes all hit at once, and the amounts are publicly documented. When Brad Duke won $220 million in Idaho, he openly shared that nearly a third vanished immediately through mandatory withholdings. Lottery officials calculate estimated taxes up front, remove it from the payout, and send it to the IRS on your behalf, whether you take the lump sum or the annuity. And it does not stop there. Winners like Michigan's Amanda Clayton discovered that once the prize is reported as income, it affects everything from insurance eligibility to child support orders to future tax brackets. Some winners have described the shock of realizing they owed additional taxes the following year because their prize counted as income for that entire tax cycle. You cannot delay it, negotiate it, or avoid it. The tax rule is so strict that many attorneys advise winners to meet with accountants before claiming the ticket, because the tax obligations activate the second you sign the paperwork. It is the one rule no Powerball winner can escape, and the one that reshapes the jackpot into a smaller, but still enormous, real-life fortune. Number 7. You must claim the prize in the same place you bought the ticket, no exceptions. This rule catches a lot of people off guard because it feels like a technicality, but winners learn fast that it is non-negotiable. The prize must be claimed in the same jurisdiction where the ticket was purchased, even if another location has friendlier rules, better privacy laws, or faster payment systems. When Andrew Jack Whitaker won his historic $315 million Powerball jackpot, he had to follow West Virginia's strict claim procedures, even though he did business across several states, and had lawyers advising him to relocate assets immediately. And anonymous winners who try to get creative with out-of-state submissions have repeatedly learned that the lottery system will reject anything that does not match the original point of sale. This is why attorneys often warn new winners not to travel with ticket, not to delay claiming in hopes of using another state's anonymity laws, and not to hand the ticket to anyone else during the verification process. The entire system is designed to prevent cross-state manipulation, and because of that, the location printed at the bottom of the ticket becomes the law you must live under. You cannot negotiate it, you cannot change it, and you cannot transfer it. Whether you love your jurisdiction's rules or hate them, that little corner of the ticket decides your privacy, your timeline, and your legal obligations for the rest of the journey. Number 6, your identity can become public whether you want it or not, unless the law protects you. Another strict rule many first-time winners never expect is that your name can be released to the public unless anonymity is explicitly allowed. Some states protect winners automatically, but many do not, and winners suddenly discover that their full legal identity becomes part of a press release they never asked for. When Lorraine West claimed her share of a massive Iowa jackpot, she had to accept that her name and hometown would be revealed within hours, and reporters camped outside her home before she had even finished paperwork. Meanwhile, winners in states with anonymity laws like the famous Jane Doe, who won $560 million in New Hampshire, have to fight hard in court just to remain private, a battle she ultimately won only because her legal team argued that exposure put her at personal risk. And winners in states without anonymity protections have even fewer options. Some try to reduce exposure by using old addresses, limiting public appearances, or issuing one public statement before disappearing. But the rule still stands. If the law requires disclosure, the lottery will publish your name no matter how much attention you want to avoid. Staying anonymous becomes a race against a legal system that does not bend for personal comfort. And once your identity is out, it is nearly impossible to undo the wave of requests, demands, and dangers that follow. Number 5, you must build a legal and financial team before the public finds you. This is not a suggestion. It is a survival requirement that every major winner eventually understands. The moment your win becomes public or even rumored, lawyers, distant relatives, former acquaintances, fundraisers, opportunists, and complete strangers will suddenly treat your life like open territory. When Bud Post claimed his Pennsylvania jackpot, he skipped building a proper legal team, and it cost him dearly. His girlfriend sued him for a share of the winnings, and the judge awarded her nearly a third. Other winners have faced false injury claims, sudden lawsuits from people they barely knew, and even disputes from relatives trying to reinterpret decades-old conversations as promises. A high-profile prize turns your entire history into potential leverage for someone else. That is why experts warn that the team must be assembled immediately, not after the first lawsuit lands on your doorstep. This group becomes your shield, reviewing contracts, filtering requests, blocking threats, controlling the narrative, and making sure you do not sign away your wealth out of panic or guilt. Without that protection, countless winners have watched their fortune evaporate long before they understood what they were really up against. Number 4, you must protect yourself with layers of insurance before the first big purchase. Most people only think about insurance when something goes wrong, but for Powerball winners, it becomes a mandatory defense system the moment their name enters the public record. The rule is simple. Extreme wealth attracts extreme risk, and winners are acquired or strongly pressured by legal and financial advisors to secure umbrella liability policies that shield them from lawsuits, accidents, opportunists, and sudden claims. When Andrew Whitaker's $315 million win made national news, he became a magnet for damage claims, thefts, and personal incidents that insurance experts later said could have been reduced if his policies had been structured more aggressively from the start. Even modest jackpot winners have reported people intentionally staging slips, collisions, or neighborhood disputes just to trigger payouts. Umbrella insurance is not about paranoia. It is about acknowledging that the moment the jackpot becomes public, every personal interaction carries financial risk. Home insurance, auto insurance, asset insurance, and personal liability insurance must all be expanded instantly, even before buying a new house or car, because anything you purchase after the win becomes a target for legal pressure. Without this protective layer, winners can lose millions not through spending, but through defending themselves from people who see a cash settlement as more valuable than honesty. Number 3, you must decide exactly how much you're willing to give away before anyone asks. The hardest rule for new winners is emotional, not financial. Choosing a limit before the world comes knocking. Experts who manage high net worth cases say the moment generosity becomes reactive instead of structured, the money drains faster than anyone expects. Budgets collapse when winners give impulsively. Try to keep people happy one small favor at a time until those favors stack into millions. One case often cited by financial advisors involved a winner who gave away nearly 60% of his prize within a year simply because he believed saying no would make him look selfish. He later admitted that setting the boundary after people were already used to handouts was twice as painful and 10 times as messy. Establishing a fixed giving fund, a charitable plan, or a controlled trust from day one prevents emotional traps later. The guilt trips, the sob stories, the pressure tactics, and the subtle social manipulation that money can trigger. Without a predetermined limit, even the most careful budgeting crumbles under interpersonal expectations. Number 2, you must build a financial safety net you agree never touch. Every professional who works with jackpot winners says the same thing. Long-term survival depends on locking away a core portion of the winnings in investments designed to last longer than impulse generosity or bad luck. It is not glamorous, but it is the rule that separates winners who thrive from winners who fade into bankruptcy stories. The purpose of this untouched base is simple. It becomes the engine that pays for your life long after the excitement fades, turning a one-time win into a sustained income stream. Winners who ignore this rule usually imagine the money will last forever, right until it does not. Major purchases, taxes, lawsuits, business ventures, and generosity chip away at wealth shockingly fast when the principal is left exposed. That is why advisors push winners to treat the safety net like a vault that funds only emergencies or investment growth, never lifestyle upgrades. When this rule is followed, the jackpot becomes a foundation. When ignored, it becomes a countdown timer. Number 1, you must accept that the jackpot will not fix your life, only expose it. This is a rule most winners learn too late. The money never rewrites the past. It only amplifies whatever was already there. If your relationships were strained, the jackpot stretches them thinner. If your habits were unstable, the jackpot pours gasoline on them. Reports on long-term winners point to the same pattern. People who enter wealth with unresolved tension, debt, addiction, or pressure often see those issues sharpen once the spotlight lands on them. Winners with solid support systems and grounded expectations tend to navigate the transition without losing themselves. This rule is not about fear. It is about clarity. The jackpot gives you money, not direction. It hands you resources, not discipline. It opens doors, but also brings attention, judgments, and choices you cannot avoid. If you step into that new world believing the prize will repair everything, you walk straight into chaos. If you step in understanding that you still have to do the work, you give yourself a chance to build a life that lasts beyond the announcement headline. Lottery wins look like a clean escape, but every rule you just heard shows the truth is heavier than the headline. The jackpot changes the numbers in your bank account, but you are the one who decides what happens after that. So let me leave you with this. If tomorrow morning you woke up holding the winning ticket, do you truly know who you would trust first? Subscribe now if you want the kind of clarity most winners only chase once the money is already gone.